Hey, what's happening, Ken?
Hey, what's
What's
up, man?
happening,
What's
brother?
up? Not much, man. Nothing much. I like the glasses, bro. I like the
Thank you,
glasses.
man. I gotta
I know you
sometimes
won't be like me.
I gotta, sometimes I gotta give these contacts a break. So I put them on for a bit, for a day or two.
I'm trying to make it over to that side. I think I'm gonna get contacts. I'm sick of wearing glasses. So
Oh my god, I've been wearing contacts since I don't remember since I think like high school, man. It's-
yeah,
Sometimes people can't even believe how quick I take them out. They're like, "Did you just take out your contacts?" I'm like, "Yep, just it."
yeah. That's the part I'm most nervous about is just going into my eye. I don't know. It freaks me out. So it's the only part I like. But
What's happening,
anyways,
man? How you been?
not much, man. It's Friday. How about you?
I'm
How
doing
things
good,
been,
man.
man? How
Doing
was this
good,
week?
man. It's been a great week, man. Really busy. A lot of appointments that I've had throughout the whole week. We had a few closings too, so it was nice. It was definitely a good week. We're looking forward for next week. Next week, I have like right before the holidays, like a whole bunch of closings that hopefully with the short week, it goes through pretty easily, pretty smoothly. So let's see. But
Yeah, you can only hope, right?
yeah, man. But how about you, man? How's your week been?
It's been good, man. It's been busy. Same thing. Getting a lot of pricing requests and getting some new clients. So it's been a good week. And it's funny. I don't know if it's people just want to get something done or something started before the end of the year.
Yeah, right.
But it's even this time of the year. You know how it is. From pretty much from now next week to the end of the year, it's pretty much like a month or less because of all the holidays. So you got to fit in all this stuff in such a short period of time because it's on paper it's a month and a half, but it's really like 3 weeks to 2 weeks. Because people, pretty much the last 2 weeks of December are a wash. Like it's just like everyone's on vacation, everyone's
Especially
doing
in real
stuff,
estate.
holidays. Oh yeah, it's crazy. But people are still out there, man. It hasn't slowed down. People are still looking at investing and getting new deals, starting their experiences, whatever it might be.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, so it's been a good week, definitely, man. So welcome everybody to REI Happy Hours every single Friday. Myself, Danny Campos, with my man Ken Bohr, we get together, just have a drink and chat about some real estate. How the market is, what's going on with different loan programs, different strategies, and not only that, we try to bring in a real good connection, a really good professional in the business that could really help you to enhance your business, help it grow the right way. So thank you everybody that's been joining us and that will probably see the video or see the episode later on during the week. But if you're on YouTube, Facebook, let us know where you're listening from. Let us know from what city and state you're listening from. If you have any deals that you got through this week, please share with us, and especially if you guys have any questions for our special guest. So, but first and foremost, Ken Bohr, make it happen, brother.
All right. Favorite time. Anyway, let's talk about what we're drinking.
On a little jar.
Very simple. It's just some Diet Coke and Jameson. So, and yes, nice. I had to sneak it in. I snuck it into the office. So don't say anything to anybody. Don't say it. Don't tell anybody.
I'm sure the boss will see the video.
so
nice.
But anyway, that's what I'm drinking today. This Friday.
It's 5 o'clock already. I'm saying I think.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock.
Right. I did real simple and just ice and some Woodford Reserve.
Hey, can't go wrong. So cheers to another Friday.
Oof, I don't know. I started a little too strong already on a Friday, but it's all right. But yeah, there you go. So this one again, every single Friday we love to share what we're drinking. Every single Friday we try to bring something different. I never get creative. Can't always get creative. I
try.
Every once in a while I probably have already a mixed drink bottle in there, so I use some of that. But let us know what you're drinking. I mean, if you guys are drinking with us already, it's 5 o'clock on a Friday and you already started, please share with us on the chat. But without further ado, I think anything else that we need to mention, I think we're good, right?
No, I think we're good, man. Let's get going. Let's talk business here.
Let's do it. Go ahead, Ken.
So I want to introduce our guest today, Brad Davis. He is an insurance agent with Farm Bureau Insurance. So let's bring him on. Brad. Hey, Brad, how are you, man?
Welcome.
You can't see, but it's the strongest glass of chocolate milk I could find. That's all.
There you go.
Nice.
Let's do
There
it.
you go. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, man. And I'll get right into it. So, just to start off, let's just introduce yourself. Tell us a little about your background, your expertise in business protection and insurance and stuff like that. So I'll let you have the floor.
Yeah, hey, I'm Brad Davis. I'm originally from a little town in southeastern North Carolina called White Lake in Bladen County, down on the coast. Graduated from East Bladen High School in '92. Went to Chapel Hill. Graduated from UNC Chapel Hill in 1996, and left there a couple years figuring life out. In 1999, I went to North Carolina State Highway Patrol School, and I was a state trooper from '99 to '04. And it was a good 5-year run, but I was introduced to a guy with Farm Bureau who's became my manager, who made a pretty strong impact on me as to what I wanted to do, because I knew that law enforcement was not it anymore. So I've been with Farm Bureau now for 19 and a half years. And, hey man, they've been good to me and I've been good to them. I believe it's a great company to work for. So I will say, since we're going to be talking about property insurance, we've got 900 agents. And 5 of the last 6 years, I finished number 1 in the state in new homes written. The other year, I was number 2, and that kind of upset me more than the years I finished. I was happy about being number 1. But anyway,
Who gave me a number 1?
Yeah, man. If you're not first, you're last. At least that's what Ricky Bobby says. But anyway, that's how I ended up here. And I'm very passionate about what I do. I love what I do. They say if you enjoy what you do, you don't work a day in your life, man. That's been me for a solid 19 and a half years. So it's good to be here. Thanks for being
nice. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. And where are you located? Where are you licensed?
My office is in Durham, North Carolina, and Research Triangle Park. And I will say, I know you said earlier to people that it could be people out of state that are listening. They should know that whatever I talk about is applicable to North Carolina Department of Insurance law only. It may be different in their state. It also could be very similar, but I have to throw that out there. So
good. That's good to know. Yeah, because we definitely have a lot. The audience that listens to REI Happy Hours that log in, they're from all over the nation. Yeah. So that's great to know.
Yeah, it'll be a similar concept either way, but it may not be spot on with what their state has. So
perfect. So just kind of get into the good stuff. When it comes to protecting your investment, it's kind of an area where some people, I guess, I feel like a lot of people don't put their too much importance into it. But obviously being in the business, especially on our side, on the lending side, we see how crucial it is for people to get in, make sure to protect their investments. What do you think are the most common misconceptions when it comes to protecting their business in real estate?
Yeah, so I think there are a couple things, and I would say misconceptions and things that I think you should look out for. The first one being, whoever you have as a tenant, you need to make sure that they carry their own insurance as far as liability goes, and that they list you as an additional insured on their policy, so that should something unfortunate happen and your insurance is going to cover it, but we may be able to subrogate against your tenant to get the money back, and also get you back any deductibles, lost incomes, et cetera, that come to you. I make because I have rental property, and I make my tenants carry $1 million in liability, which is the max that we'll do in North Carolina on a standard liability policy. The standard in the industry is either 100,000 or 300,000, and the difference between that and $1 million with my company is about 90 cents per month. So as a landlord, I have it structured in my contract where they'll carry $1 million. I'll be named as an additional insured because if the policy cancels for non-payment, if they're canceled for non-payment, I get notification, and that's a right to get them out of the house if I need to. Right? So I'm protecting myself. I think one of the, you probably have a lot of people when they're buying investment properties they're usually buying single structured houses, townhomes, or condos.
Yeah.
One of the biggest misconceptions in North Carolina with houses or with townhomes, there's a formula that an agent follows to get the coverage right. With a condo, in other words, if there's an HOA policy that covers the exterior of the structure and we're just insuring the interior, the least amount of coverage that you can do for the dwelling, so when we call dwelling on a condo, is what you can see: ceilings, walls, floors, doors, cabinets, etc. It's $1,000. $1,000 won't buy the doors for the place, right? And so I see these quotes come in all the time where people say, "Hey, Brad, I got this quote from this other company, and look at what it costs versus what you cost." And I say, look at what you're getting versus what I'm offering. Right. So if something happens, I'm going to make sure it's done right. And if you're really concerned with that little bit of money, the difference in premium, you probably need to do business with that other person, because I'm not going to insure you incorrectly just for the sake of getting your business. So that's probably one of the biggest things I see is on a condo policy where people don't have enough structure coverage.
Oh, that's a good point.
Very good. Very nice. And I like that. I like the nugget with the you getting covered. You called it, what did you say, with your being the owner and you having a tenant, what did you call it again? I'm sorry. Was you say mission?
I make them carry their own tenant insurance in a house. It's an HO4 in North Carolina. It's really just a tenant occupied policy for them. Okay. And as a business owner, it's a different kind of policy, but it's still meaning you don't own the property, you rent it, but you're going to carry your own liability that I'm going to require you to carry. And you're going to list me and my entity, whether it's me or my LLC or whatever, as an additional insured, so that if your policy ever cancels for non-payment, I get notification. Yeah.
No, that's a good. I like that piece of information, because I don't know. I think a lot of people. I like that piece, that little piece at the end where you're notified, and you're on there too. So if they stop the coverage, you'll know right away. I think that's huge, and I wonder how many people out there don't know that. or aren't doing that.
I see it frequently.
Yeah.
People took out a policy, made one payment, and let the policy lapse, and the landlord never found out. The owner never found out. So
that's a really good nugget.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. What so just give us a little overview of some other types of insurance coverage out there for business owners that you think are important, that could bring value. And security.
Yeah, well, I know with my portfolio, I can insure anything from a single wide trailer to an entire apartment complex. Things get a little trickier the bigger you go, right? But the concept is the same. There are two types of, you can say there's more than two, but there generally are two types of policies when it comes to investment properties. And is it going to be insured for full replacement cost, or is it going to be actual cash value? So there are some policies I've seen with other companies where, let's say, the roof would be not replaced on a replacement cost. It's going to be on the wear and tear, actual cash value. So you want to try to do your homework to make sure that you're getting a full replacement policy, if possible, for your property. Sometimes the age of it can vary and make coverages different, but make sure the agent's looking for, with your purpose, looking for anything that's replacement cost. Dwelling, roof, as well as a business interest inside of it, your property or whatever, your personal property.
Nice.
Very good. So in regards to the types of coverage and different types of protection for investment properties, is there a difference between the different types of coverages there exist?
Well, it depends on what the structure is, but it depends on the age, the value, the structure, right? As to how that's done. So we do the structure here, and then you do the liability here, but it all equals the policy. Okay. One thing that I was going to bridge into is with the liability. I tell people, and it's hard to do in every case, like as your portfolio grows, but the liability on your properties, the max you can do in a general liability policy with our company, with North Carolina, is $1 million. But then you have umbrellas above that, right? And your liability coverage somewhat needs to mirror your net worth within that investment. In other words, if Brad Davis has 10 rental properties and they're worth $6 million, then I need to have $6 million in liability. So, and this is where you get your tax person involved, right? Because and I'm a little bit insurance scared, because I've seen a lot of stuff that you wouldn't believe if you weren't an insurance agent. But I also have some clients, they follow their tax guy's advice, but I have some clients who each rental property is its own LLC.
Right.
I have some clients who they're going to put 4 properties in an LLC.
Correct.
And have some they're going to put it all in LLC, or they just say, I'm going to leave it in my personal name. We'll figure it out. Okay, well, that's on you. But I've advised you to put it in something outside of your name, right?
Yeah.
So as an insurance agent, you also recommend that for
Correct.
clients that have properties under personal names where they should,
correct,
in reality, put it under LLC. That's the best way to do it.
Correct.
That's very good. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things we actually recommend all of our clients. We in our case, we have loan programs where you can put it under your personal name if you like. It's going to be a little bit more costly, but why if there's so much more benefits in putting under your LLC name and putting it into entity names. So yeah man,
protect your family's future, get it out of your name.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. Now, talking about that, I know we've been talking about like property insurance and everything when it comes to the property itself, but transitioning right into it, right? Not having it into their name, and most likely a lot of our clients, or if not almost all of our clients, and people that follow us, they do have an LLC or a corporation or something like that. Some of them are, sole LLCs, but a lot of them have partners and they have different structures to their business. What are some just straight business coverages that don't necessarily have to be with the property, but what do you recommend, and what's out there that you think is important that they should have?
Great question, man. So when I have clients who come in and there's more than one of them that own an entity together, I usually get personal with them, and I always use the example of me and my brother. When my father passed away, he left my brother and I 6 18-wheelers.
Wow.
Right? And so I love my brother, and I love my brother's wife, but I don't want to be in business with her. So when I have people who come in and sit down, and my brother don't want to be in business with my wife either, to keep it fair. But when they sit down, I'll say, "Hey man, how do you like your business partner's wife?" And they'll look at me like, "What?" And I say, "Well, because if something unfortunate happens to you, that's your new business partner in North Carolina, unless you've got a buy-sell agreement set up and a means to buy out your partner. And normally the least expensive way to do that is with life insurance." So what we like to do is every year or two is to reevaluate the business, see what it's worth, and adjust life insurance coverages accordingly. That you can talk to your tax guy about what are tax advantages of having that. But if something unfortunate happens, you can buy out your business partner, keep the business flowing, no interruption at all. It's really inexpensive to do that.
Yeah, and I feel like that would get really, again, I am not an insurance firm, but my common sense, or I think it's common sense, just goes off, like, especially in our industry, like, we're talking usually like physical assets, right? Like properties. If that wife comes in and she just, a lot of it, it's not liquidity, right? A lot of the money is held up in properties. She might want cash, or he might want cash.
You have to liquidate half of your portfolio.
Yeah, like you could have to sell, a lot of your properties that you don't want to sell because they want to buy out. So yeah, I mean, it could be a huge ordeal. So yeah, I think that's a huge thing to consider whenever you have a partner. So yeah, is there any, and there might not be, is there anything else out there that you would recommend just on the business side of insurance?
Yeah, I think one thing I skipped over is on your policies you get for, well, not on the business side, but on the insurance side of the properties. On the coverages that your people get for their investment properties, they need to make sure that there's lost rental income on the policy. So rental property catches on fire.
Oh yeah.
It takes 6-7 months or a year to build back. Make sure that it has a lost rental income, because not all of them do, but they can endorse it. Should be able to endorse it. So that's big. That
makes sense. Yeah. And in the scheme of thing, like, and yeah, you might not be able to answer this, but like that type of coverage, like how much are you usually, I know it's probably all over the place, it depends on the size of the property and everything else, but how much are you looking at expense-wise?
It's pennies on the dollar. It's not expensive.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be. But yeah, so everyone listening, man, these are all things that you should have. Your property, your investments, your homes are, the biggest expense you probably have. And yeah, you might be making cash flow off of them, but if you don't have cash flow, it becomes a huge expense.
Yeah. So one other thing too, Ken. a lot of you. I mean, your portfolio is huge. Your rental houses, they have to have work done on them, right? So anytime that you're bringing in someone to do the roof, the plumber, the whatever it is, they need to provide you with a certificate of insurance showing their workers' comp and their general liability. If they're in there and they screw up your house and they don't have general liability, it's your problem, right? And I mean, you can sue them, but you can't squeeze blood from a turnip either. And the bigger one is the workers' comp. People think, oh, I hired them. No. If they're in your house doing work for you, they're your employee. It doesn't matter if they're 1099 or W-2. So you need to make sure they provide you with a certificate of insurance or workers' comp. If they can't provide you with that, you probably need to find someone else that will.
Wow, I mean that goes into that was gonna be my next question. Like, what's the best protection someone can have from liability claims? You know,
that's it, man.
I think that's a great example of what can happen.
Yeah, and people that have been doing that work for that long a time, they've got workers' comp general liability. They should have it. So protect your interest.
Yeah, and that's the thing. In the construction world, there's so many things that could go wrong.
Oh yeah,
right. And that's and I feel like a lot of people do not think outside from is just rehabbing the property, remodel it, get out of there, sell it. That's it. And there's so much more to it, you know. That until that one day you're in that situation, forget it. Like, you know, I had a client of mine's where, and this is again, everything we're just talking about right now, in addition to with the importance of putting everything under your LLC, he had 7 properties, and in one of the properties, a tenant fell down from the stairs due to the rails, and they got a really good lawyer where almost affected every single property he had under his name.
Sure.
And he had it to get another good lawyer. And I mean, fortunately, nothing too crazy happened, but it was like a crazy time in his real estate life where he had to fight this to not get so affected from it.
Yeah.
And involved that everything was under his personal name, but I don't think we talked about this, but I'm pretty sure, I guess he didn't have the right insurance either. I'm assuming. Right? Could that be the case too?
If he did, it was maxed out, or there's some liens on his property somewhere. But yeah. And I'll say all the advice I've given with the LLCs and all that, that's my opinion. I can't give tax or legal advice, but that's what I tell my people. Right?
Oh, same here. Yeah, same here, definitely. So yeah, I mean, and when it comes to these types of claims that you can get from tenants, workers, it's very doable. It happens, and so having the right protection is very important. Absolutely.
Sure.
Yep. I agree. And it's funny. It's hearing you say that it's better to put your properties in an LLC. It's funny because we hear this. We preach it to our clients. Obviously, it sounds like you preach it to your clients. When we talk to attorneys, they preach it to their clients. Like, I feel like every segment that is involved with real estate, they always preach it, but there's so many people out there that just don't. I don't know. They feel like they don't do it. I don't know why. It's weird, but I feel like every segment of the business always says put the properties under an LLC or a corporation or something, an entity of a sort. So it's funny how everyone preaches that, but not everybody will listen to us and do it, which is funny. Yeah. But anyways, hey, can you just talk about? Is there any emerging trends or changes in the insurance industry for business owners or anything like that coming up, or anything you see, any kind of future red flags or good news or anything?
No, I mean, only in North Carolina, there are a lot of companies that are pulling out of North Carolina because of the wind and hail exposure at the coast. Really? The past 15 years, more hurricanes have hit the coast of North Carolina than any other state, including Florida, with our Outer Banks. But there are companies that are pulling out, which is, my company's a North Carolina only company, so I can't say it doesn't disappoint me that they're pulling out. But but I hate it for the agents who have been trusting that. But anyway, that's the only real thing that I've seen. They still got another alternative though. So
yeah,
usually what's the reason why there are increases like not just with one company, but with like almost every single insurance company, there'll be an increase of insurance. And this happening, I don't know. And again, I'm just throwing this out because I've been hearing it from a few clients that happened to me. That in different insurance companies, insurance went up past month or 2 months. Is there a reason why all this happens?
The majority of the increases have to do with a couple things. One would be the cost. I'd say the cost of doing business, the cost of repair stuff, the cost of supplies, the cost of the parts for the auto dealership to fix things. That trickles downhill, right? But a large portion of it, and I can't get too deep into it, but a large portion of it has to do with the cost of the companies that then have to buy reinsurance. Because let's say, we were a $4 billion company, but we have X number of stuff we're protecting. We have to buy reinsurance. Every company does. And the cost of the reinsurance is going up for the same reason. So, so that trickles downhill, right? So
I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so everyone tells me like, oh, my insurance is going up, and like, what am I going to do? And that actually sometimes affect loan qualifications.
Sure.
When insurance goes up, so it's been a little bit of a scare for a few of my clients, but at the end of the day,
hey, mine went up too, right? I mean,
right? Yeah, no, same here. And so I
don't get a break.
Yeah. So it's definitely it's a good point. I mean, it's definitely the cost of living has gone up. So it starts from the top. Everyone gets affected from it. Yeah. Do you have any like different, for example, Farm Bureau has any like different types of tools or resources that I guess investors can use for their finding out about their coverage or anything like that, or is it just best off to talk directly to an agent?
Well, man, so we're structured differently, but we don't have 800 numbers. Every client I've got 2,800 clients. They've all got my cell phone number.
Nice.
So we don't advertise much. We're the face-to-face people. We like building relationships. We don't have 800 numbers, but we do have agents that are accessible where you can walk in and see someone, which I think is huge, versus calling an 800 number and starting your story every time you call, right?
Oh yeah.
But on the business planning side of it, we do have estate planning specialists we work with that are actually hired by Farm Bureau, paid by Farm Bureau, that we meet with business owners to figure out how to avoid their sister-in-law being their new business partner, or how to figure out how do you stay solvent, or how to figure out, you've got excess money, what are you going to do with it? Would you want to give it to the government, or would you rather put it somewhere where it can benefit your family? I mean, we do have that as well.
That's huge.
Yeah, sure.
No, that's big. That's really big. I think everyone needs to take advantage of that.
Sure.
And I like the fact that you guys are kind of old. So I'll just use the word old school, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to name any of the other insurance companies' names out there, but Danny, you can attest to this. How many times are we gathering our clients' information? Because we always have to get their title, or their attorney information for closing, and we have to get their insurance agent. And so many times, and we need to have we need a name, we need a direct email, and we need a contact information. And there's so many insurance companies out there where it's only an 800 number. They don't even have an agent. Yeah, so then we got to search. We have to search and look for somebody, and it is a pain in the you-know-what. So
at that point, we just switch them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just call Brad.
You got to switch.
Just call Brad.
Exactly.
Hey.
It's crazy.
Make my phone ring.
Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that you guys are kind of old school in that way, because I think that's the way business should be done and always be done. So that's awesome. So
yeah, and I think a really big part of that, is what you said right now is the relationship.
Yes.
When it comes to even your insurance agent, that relationship is crucial for anything that may happen with your investment property. You can just pick up the phone and call them. Hey, look, this just happened. Like, what do you think I should do? Yeah. Instead of, dial 1 first, then dial 5, dial 8, then wait 30 minutes.
You guys are doing the same thing, right? It's about client retention. So I found as long as you return emails, text messages, phone calls, and tell people the truth, everything else kind of falls in place.
Yeah,
you are correct there, sir.
Absolutely. So we appreciate that. That's awesome to know. Ken, I don't know if you have any other questions for Brad.
No, man. I think
Brad,
I
is
mean,
there
it's
anything
super-
else that you think would be like some real good information or tips for everyone that's listening to us, or you think we pretty much covered it all?
No, I would tell people to get whoever your agent is, get in touch with them, go see them, review your policies, make sure it's replacement cost if they have it, make sure your liability is maximized, differentiate your LLCs however you wish or not, and then make sure you've got some kind of business continuation plan in place if you have a business partner, or if you don't have a business partner and you want your spouse to take over, or what's your exit strategy on your business if something bad happens.
Right.
Just meet with your agent, make sure everything is good to go.
Actually, let me throw in one more. How many times should you sit down with your agent and kind of like go over everything again?
Once a year.
Once a year. Okay. Well, there you go.
Once a year.
Once a year, make sure they get. And I feel like that's a lot of people don't do that, but I think that's.
I can't lie. I don't do it.
I know, right? So it's like, you know.
I mean, I'll admit to that, but I think it's very good advice.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
But awesome, yeah.
So awesome, Brad. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. I know you must have like a really busy schedule, but thank you so much for taking some time to sit down with us, kind of share with the community a little bit about what you do, your services, and I'm sure everybody will take a lot of these gems home and try to apply them some way or another. What's the best way to contact you?
Hey, so I don't give out my office number. My cell phone number is 919-260-5316. Email is brad.davis@NC like North Carolina, FB like Farm Bureau, INS, the first two letters of insurance.com. So brad.davis@ncfbins.com.
Awesome. We're going to have Nat, if she could please share it on the chat for us on Facebook so that anyone that's listening right now can go ahead and take down your number and give you a call. But I thank you very much, Brad. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Brad, thank you, man.
Very good, very good information.
Thanks for the invite.
Next time I'm up there, we'll have to get together. I don't know when I'm coming up, but when I do, I'll call you.
Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Right,
thank you, everybody, for joining us every single Friday, 5 p.m. REI Happy Hour. See you next Friday. Have a good weekend.
See ya.
Bye.
Take care.
We're still on.
We're still live.
We're still live.